My dear brothers and sisters, we were having the Bible study on the book of Judges chapter 4 and we reached chapter 11, verse 11, and the army of Deborah and Barak is already one side ready and the opposite armies of Sisera is also ready. Let us read verse 12 onwards. We read, when Sisera was told that Barak son of Abinoam had gone up to Mount Tabor, they are on the mountain, and Sisera with his chariots of army, chariots of iron, and the army, they all were ready. And let's read verse 13. Sisera called out all his chariots, 900 chariots of iron, and all the troops were with him from Harosheth HaGoyim to the Wadi Kishon. He called everyone to there, to the Wadi, the valley area, the plain land, because that is the only place the chariots can move. So they waited there. Then verse 14. Then Deborah said to Barak, because these people are on the mountain of Tabor, because they know the chariots cannot come over there. That is why they were waiting there. The Siseran army waiting in the plain land, because that is the only place they can depend on their chariots. And therefore they were waiting. And Deborah said, for this is the day on which the Lord has given Sisera into your hand. The Lord is indeed going out before you. So Deborah said, today the Lord is going to fight in front of you. The Lord is going in front of you. Don't depend on this Tabor, mountain. Don't think, if you are hiding here in the mountain, you will think it is because of the mountain you were able to be victorious. So then Barak understood, if God is one, the Lord is the one who is standing in front of us, why should we be afraid? We will go to the plain, their own safe zone. We will leave our safe zone and go to their safe zone and will attack them. And then Barak went down from Mount Tabor with 10,000 warriors following him. They came out of the mountain. They were ready to face them in the plain land, where the other opposite army has more advantage. Then Deborah said to Barak, up, for this is the day. So Barak went down from Mount Tabor with the 10,000 warriors following him. Verse 15. And the Lord threw Sisera and all his chariots and all his army into a panic before Barak. Sisera got down from his chariot and fled away on foot. Though he has chariot, he could not depend on chariot. If you trust in the Lord, your enemies will not be able to trust in their own stronghold. Sometimes the enemies have got their own stronghold which you are frightened of. But if you trust in the Lord, those strongholds of the enemy will be useless for them. Maybe their brilliance is their stronghold. Maybe their strength is their stronghold. Maybe their position is a stronghold. Maybe they are very influential people. That is their stronghold. You are an ordinary person. Maybe they have so many followers and supporters. You don't have any supporters. That is their stronghold. Don't worry. If God is with you, all these so-called strongholds are useless for them. The enemies will be scattered. In this man who came in the chariot royally, now he's running away on foot. These chariots, 900 chariots, useless in front of the name of the army of the Lord. Praise the Lord. Verse 16, kindly read. Verse 16 we read, while Barak pursued the chariots and the army to Harosheth HaGoyim, all the army of Sisera fell by the sword. No one was left. The whole army was destroyed. And verse 17. Now Sisera had fled away on foot to the tent of Jael, wife of Heber the Kenite. Those days, each one has got every woman has got their own tent. Wife has one tent, another wife has another tent, husband has another tent. So these different tents. So this man he was hiding in one woman's tent, because normally nobody will go and check in the woman's tent, because he's in chief of army. So he went to the tent of Jael, wife of Heber the Kenite, because they were in a good relationship. These Kenites and the Sisera's people, they were all in good relationship. For there was peace between King Jabin of Hazor and the clan of Heber the Kenite. They were in a very good peace relationship. So he thought this lady will help him. Therefore he went inside. Verse 18. Jael came out to meet Sisera and said to him, "Turn aside, my lord, turn aside to me. Have no fear, don't worry, come in, come in." So he turned aside to her into the tent, and she covered him with a rug. Verse 19. Then he said to her, "Please give me a little water to drink, for I am thirsty." So she opened a skin of milk and gave him a drink and covered him. And then verse 20. So when he asked for water, she gave milk. So much of caring. But she knew what she was planning to do. He said to her, "Stand at the entrance of the tent, and if anybody comes and asks you, 'Is anyone here?' says no." You said no. And then verse 21. But Jael, wife of Heber, took a tent peg. She took a hammer in her hand, big huge nail and hammer, and went softly to him because he was in deep sleep, and drove the peg into his temple. Through this ear, she drew the peg into his temple until it went down into the ground. He was lying fast asleep from weariness, and he died. He was so tired, therefore he was sleeping, and he entered into eternal rest. So she killed him. That is why there is a prophecy Deborah told Barak, "You will not get the glory of destroying this enemy. Sisera will be killed by a lady." So people must have thought it is Deborah, but not Deborah. There is this ordinary lady killed him. Verse 22. Then as Barak came in pursuit of Sisera, Jael went out to meet him and said to him, "Come, I will show you the man whom you are seeking." So he went into her tent, and there was Sisera lying dead with the tent peg in his temple. And then 23. So on that day, God subdued King Jabin of Canaan before the Israelites. Then the hand of the Israelites bore harder and harder on King Jabin of Canaan, and until they destroyed the King Jabin of Canaan. So until they destroyed Israel, continued attacking them. So there is a spiritual message in it. So when we are fighting against the evil one, just because you got victory over the one side, Barak defeated the army of Sisera. All the army members were killed. All the soldiers killed. And Sisera ran away. The leader ran away. What did Barak do? Anyway, only he has run away. Let him run. Let me go back. Barak did not give up. Barak made sure even the last person, the leader, whoever may be, should be eliminated. The same way, when we work against the evil spirit, work against the temptations, work against the sins of our life, it's not enough that you come out victorious in one battle against the evil. When you fight the battle, it's not enough that you just come out of victorious one day. Make sure this enemy should be eliminated. This sin should be uprooted. The tendency, the reasons, the instigations, and the causes for the sin, everything should be uprooted. Until you uproot even the last cause of the sin, don't stop the battle. That is the message that you get it from this passage. Don't stop the battle just because you seem to be victorious, the enemy is running away. You have to chase. You have to run after the enemy. The enemy in your life is not any human being. It is your own sinful tendencies, bad habits, causes that leads you to fall into sin. We need to uproot this root of sin. Until you uproot it, don't stop the battle. Don't take rest. Praise the Lord.